Hello and welcome to another Gulliver vlog. This is number 10. 10 weeks, double figures. 10 weeks. I should have bought a little party popper or something, but I didn't. What are we going to start with? We're going to start with
Munkle, the monkey today, I think. So you remember last week I showed you that I'd done the first papier-mâché of his little head, the first layer. Well, I've been adding some character to him this week, and I'm really pleased with him actually. He's super cute. I've always wanted to make a monkey, so this was very exciting for me. I also papier-mâchéed first layer of his body as well, gave him some little kind of hand paw type things, and because of the way we've made him operate with the arms, we didn't want to give him a thumb because actually it made him look a little strange. We didn't want to make it, we want them to be representative.
Yeah, it's so funny when you've got the arms that way round, it can mean that when they're one way or the other, it looks odd if the arm doesn't turn over.
Yeah.
So you'll suddenly lift the arm up and have the thumb on the wrong side or something. So
better to have a representation rather than it look really quite strange. And then the other thing I've done with him this week is given him a little belly, which just fills out his body a bit, which I think is quite nice. It works quite nicely.
I really like that. Yeah.
All I need to do now with the body is fill out the back as well, because at the moment he's got this funny little bony line bit at the back. He needs a little butt, so I'm going to make him a nice little butt. The other thing I've done is strengthened the back of the head, which is really important for longevity of any of these puppets. So I papier-mâchéed as much as I could inside and the handle and everything like that. Like I said, I'm really pleased with him. This little fuzz around his face is really nice. I like it a lot.
I love it. I think it's so full of character. It's great. Like I was pleased from the beginning with the movement, and now everything that you've done to the face looks brilliant.
Yeah. So he's going to have a lot of this nice hairy fuzz on his body as well. Probably use it to cover the joints that we had to make with black gaffer tape, because it's the best thing to do that with. So I'll use little bits of that just to kind of hide those and give the body, make sure the body ties in with the head. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. We were talking about how long it takes to make a puppet, weren't we? And
people ask us all the time when they come to see shows, you know, how long does it, a couple of things they ask. One of them is how long does it take you to write a script? And then the other one is how long does it take to make a puppet? And actually it's really difficult to figure out, but
we always say it depends on the puppet for a start.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But
for him, for example, this week, just doing the bits that I've done since last week, so adding all of this, sorting his eyes out, papier-mâchéing the body, adding the tummy, that kind of thing, adding the little hands, has probably taken me at least 2 full days work. And we reckon for him to get him to this point has probably taken a full working week, so a full 5 days. We reckon. It's very difficult to tell, but we reckon about that. And I think there's probably another couple of days work left on him before he's completely finished. So that gives you a rough kind of idea. But yeah.
Do you think if we were to make another one now, do you think that would be slightly faster? Because
yes.
Obviously there's a certain element when you're making one for the first time where you're figuring things out. So it takes you that little bit longer to...
I definitely think it would be quicker the second time around. And certainly when we've had to make multiples of the same puppet for a show, they're definitely quicker as you get more familiar with.
Even so, I think at least 3 days, because it's the covering.
It's very intricate. These little tiny, they're very fiddly, and it's very important to get it right. You can very easily get it wrong, and you lose the character and the personality. So it's worth spending the time on. But I'm really pleased with it.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
Thanks.
And now, my old friend the Yahoo, much more positive. In fact, this week we have sort of come along a bit with him. So, I don't think we'd cut anything off.
No, the head was still massive.
Yeah, if you remember, the head was much bigger last week because I actually built it around a full frame that was not far off the size of my own big head.
And Noel has a very large head.
Very famously big head. So, I cut the face off this, and then we filled out the back and put the handle on the back there. It looks a bit more in proportion overall, I think.
Yeah, I'm pleased. I think it looks great.
Yeah, it's starting to come together. Like we're starting to get much more of a sense of the character of it, and it just feels more unified, more like it's one thing and it all works together. We've also started to do some of the detail and the decoration on it. So I did some of this as well. In fact, so we've both been wrapping all this twine around places to make sure it all ties together as rope. You can't really see here, but Totally unexpected.
Cunning.
All ties together. There are a few little sort of twine twirls, little rope twirls.
Yes, when I was putting on his, trying to give him a bit of character again on the face and giving him this hair, this paper hair, I wanted to tie in, again, puns all over the place, the rope.
It's the same.
I know, sorry. There wasn't even a different one, to the face. So I put these little swirls on. And in a similar way, I'm going to bring the paper into the body as well, so that this paper will also be seen possibly on these forearms, maybe on little bits here to give him a bit of kind of chest fuzz, just to make sure that the whole thing looks a unified puppet. It needs he needs hair on the top of his head as well.
Yeah, and possibly we'll fill out a little bit of this.
With some twine
and I
as
think
well.
we'd mentioned that we put the tubes on there to make the arms.
Yes, we mentioned that last
operate.
week, I think.
But yeah, he's getting there, isn't he? And I think we will end up with at least 3 of these, if not 4. So it's nice to have more of a sense of it now, because again, it means that when we come to make another one, hopefully we will have a better sense of how to get there more quickly.
And then finally, we've been working again, just trying to get finished the Struldbrug. So you'll notice that he now has some semblance of shoulders, which Noel figured out this week, and it just starts to fill out the body a bit. We don't want him to be very substantial, we keep saying this, and we feel like this is about all he'll have. We'll papier-mâché the shoulder, you can see it here from the back as well, to strengthen it and make sure that it doesn't fall apart. But really we want to keep him very, as we keep saying, wraith-like. So it'll just be a question now of adding fabric to give him the hood that we talked about and to drape across those shoulders down, so that he can be held fairly high. We want him to be quite tall.
Yeah.
But we're pleased with it. And we had a debate over where to hang the head from, but you decided in the end
so
that
what's
that was about
what's
right.
nice about doing them like this, where they've just got shoulders, is that obviously the fabric then hangs down like a body shape, but it means that you can sort of sweep them around. You do get this kind of ghostly wraith effect. Having said that, though, the tricky part about that is that because there's nothing anchoring the shoulders, you can get this problem where they'll start to spin. So we've got a couple of things in place to counteract that. One is where the string is attached, which slightly deadens it. If it was just one strand, then it spins very quickly. And if it's spread out too far, then it means that it's constantly wanting to follow the head. So it's one thing or the other. And then the bit that we've got under the chin there means that you can actually prevent the rotation just ever so slightly by dropping the chin. It also helps having the hand attached to the shoulder, because it also means that you can just use it almost as a brake.
The fabric will stabilise it as well, because it'll give it a bit of weight and make it, it'll force it to hang down, so
helps.
it'll stop it from spinning quite so much.
But I'm quite excited to put the fabric on that, because I think seeing it with the shoulders, I can start to imagine what the shape of the whole thing would be like. So I can't wait to see it with, a sort of cloak and hood. Very exciting.
So yeah, so we made quite good progress this week really with the puppets, and we'll carry on next week, finish off the monkey, try and maybe put some fabric on the Struldbrug, and I'll go back to the horse, because I really want to get that mane right.
And I've got on my desk, I've got an array of Lilliputian body parts, because having made the little prototype, I've now started making, kind of mass producing.
It's like a factory line up. It's very funny.
Yeah. So it takes a little while, but hopefully doing them all together like that will be quicker.
Great. That's all for this week, and we will see you next week for week 11 of our Gulliver vlog.
Thanks.